was sitting in my bed, reading a book, when I heard faint footsteps coming from the attic. They were slow and eerie, then suddenly stopped right above my room. My heart raced, and I froze in place. When I looked up at the window, she was there. My name is Catherine, and this is my story. I was 12 years old when my mother, Ava, my father, John, and I moved into an old house on the outskirts of the village. It was just a few days before Christmas. The house looked dilapidated and frightening. The walls were covered in dark wood. The floors creaked with every step, and the large fireplace filled the space with an old warmth, giving the house a special character as if it had come straight out of a classic Christmas story. At first, I was happy. The place was spacious, and the thick snow covering everything outside added a peaceful beauty to the scene. But as the days passed, the comfort began to fade gradually. On the first night, while I was lying in my bed, I heard sounds coming from above. It was a faint scratching sound, like sharp nails digging into the wood. I sat up and listened carefully, the sound growing clearer. Terrified, I ran to my parents' room and screamed in a trembling voice, "Dad, I hear noises from the ceiling. Someone is moving in the attic." My father smiled reassuringly and hugged me gently, saying, "Don't worry, Catherine. It's probably just rats or birds. Old houses always have sounds like these. There's nothing to be afraid of." I nodded in agreement, but my heart kept pounding. The sound I had heard didn't resemble rats. It was much heavier and deeper. I spent that night wide awake, my ears on alert for any movement. The next night, while I was reading a book in my bed, I heard light footsteps in the attic. They were slow and deliberate, then suddenly stopped at a specific point right above my room. I felt as though my heart would leap out of my chest. I didn't dare move, and when I looked up at the window, I froze in terror. I saw her for the first time. She was standing outside the window, even though we were on the second floor. An old woman with tangled gray hair and hollow, dark eyes, staring directly at me. I screamed at the top of my lungs, but she vanished as though she had never been there. My parents rushed to my room, but they found nothing. Once again, they told me it was just a nightmare, but I was sure of what I had seen. After days of talking about the noises and the mysterious woman, my father decided to go up to the attic to check. We all climbed up with small flashlights in hand. The attic was unusually cold, and it smelled foul. As we searched, we found an old wooden chest tightly sealed. My father slowly opened it, and inside we found piles of old letters and a torn photo of a woman wearing an old-fashioned dress. My mother began to read one of the letters, written in a trembling hand. "My eldest son locked me in here. He says I'm not a normal woman, that I scare his friends. I hear him laughing with them while I die slowly here. I will stay, even after death. I won't leave this house. I won't leave you." At the end of the letter was the signature, "Your old mother, Marol." The other letters were filled with even greater pain. The cold is killing me. The darkness is consuming me. I am alone. My son won't open the door. I will take revenge, even after my death. The room suddenly felt heavier. The air was suffocating, as though we were no longer alone. From that moment on, the events escalated. The sounds became clearer. Heavy footsteps walking on the ceiling. Loud banging on the attic door at night. Whispers calling our names in the dark.
It always happens after dark.
The appearance of the woman became more frequent. Sometimes she was standing by my bedroom window. Other times at the end of the long hallway leading to the kitchen. Once I woke up to find her sitting at the edge of my bed. When I looked at her face, I saw a twisted, terrifying smile. Every morning, we would find chairs moved around, lights broken, as if someone had been messing with the house all night. One night, we all woke up to a loud scream coming from the attic. It was the voice of a woman, screaming and crying in anger. "Open the door. Let me out." We ran to the attic, but when my father opened the door, there was nothing but darkness. We realized that the spirit of the old woman, Marol, was haunting us. Through the letters and our investigations, we learned that her eldest son, who was a teenager at the time, had locked her in the attic on Christmas Eve because he was ashamed of her and wanted to throw a party for his friends. He told them she was not human and would bring bad luck. He left her there until she died from the cold and starvation. But she didn't leave. Her spirit remained in the house, tormenting anyone who lived there, especially on Christmas Eve. On the next Christmas Eve, we woke up to unbearable chaos. Doors were slamming violently, windows were opening by themselves despite the snow outside, and heavy footsteps shook the entire house. Suddenly, we heard a terrifying scream coming from the attic. I looked at my parents, and we knew we had to leave immediately. As we tried to escape, I saw the old woman at the end of the hallway. She was holding an old rosary, her face filled with rage and hatred. In a rough voice, she said, "You will not leave this place. I won't let you." We ran out, leaving the house behind forever. After we left, we later learned that the house burned to the ground just a few days later. But the locals swore that the screams and sounds from the attic never stopped, even after the fire. To this day, every Christmas, I wake up at midnight and feel an eerie chill, as if someone is watching me. Sometimes, I hear a faint whisper calling my name from a distant place. I am Marol. I won't leave you. As for the son who caused her death, no one knows what happened to him to this day, and all that's spoken about him are mere whispers and secrets that refuse to be revealed. Some say he vanished suddenly, as though the earth itself swallowed him whole, leaving no trace or sign of his existence. The house, which had witnessed his crime, seemed to have swallowed his secret along with him, surrounded by an aura of mystery and shadows that cling to his name. Some claim he still appears on dark nights, his shadow flickering between narrow alleys or materializing at unexpected moments, only to disappear as quickly as he came. Others believe he couldn't escape his own conscience and was driven to madness, meeting his end in some unknown place, alone in the darkness, paying the price for his actions. But even with all these stories and rumors, No one can confirm his fate.